Okay, this is going to be Rappelling 2 on the different type of seat here. I'm going to do the Swiss seat now. What I've got on me now is a Ranger, called a Ranger seat. So I'm going to untie this, get this off me. And again, a Ranger seat or a, I just talked about throwing equipment on the ground the other video when I threw this. It was only on grass, but still. Protect your equipment. You don't want to throw them in the dirt, be stepping on them, it'll cut them, etc. So, this little Ranger seat here, they can be made 15 to 20 feet. 5, 10. This one looks like it may be about 12 to 13 feet. Some people make them 15 feet so they have a little bit more. You can do safety lines. But any good rope, you can order them online. They'll call them a Ranger seat or Swiss seat. So I already talked about the Ranger seat in the other video. If you didn't see it, you can watch it. So now I'm going to talk about the Swiss seat. Now the Swiss seat is the same way. Again, when you want your knot tied off, if you don't understand a lot of this, so I don't have to repeat it, watch the first Ranger seat, because these are the two most common seats. You want your knot on the opposite side of your brake. If I'm braking with this hand, I want my knot over here on my seat. If I'm braking with this hand, I want my seat knot on this side. Is it critical? Not really. But you need one of these shorter than the other in order to get your knot tied. So, to do a Swiss seat, basically I'm going to do a double overhanded knot. I'm going to just do a single twist, and then I'm going to do another twist. And this is going to give me a nice loop right here that I'm going to tie onto. So I'm going to tie this right around here, and that's where I'm basically going to be hooking into. And then once I tie this here, these ropes are going to be equal or longer. Now you notice when you tie this, I started with this side shorter, and after I tied it, it switched sides on me. So it was going to put the knot over here. So I'm going to make this side a little bit shorter. And again, this is something you can play with. Just learn the seat basically right now. I'm going to do 1 and 2 and tie. Okay? So that's my first part of the seat right here. Then I'm going to take these two and I'm going to run them through my legs on each side. Then once you run them through, here's the part that tricks people up. Is this single rope back here that I've already tied, I've got to bring these ropes through this, and I just go under to make little loops like that. And now to make this lock, I'm going to pull this through that little loop. And that's going to cause a little lock, and I want to get that tight. And then I have this little loop here, and I can pull this through here. And that's going to give a lock, and then I'm going to tie my knot. And again, it's a square knot. Quick square knot is the rope that goes over once, goes over again. So this is the rope that went over. So now I'm going to put it over the other rope again, and I should have a nice looking square knot that I can tell what it looks like. I'll show you a wrong knot. This is wrong. Hopefully you can see that. I can't zoom in because it doesn't look neat. It doesn't look like a good square knot. And this is a good square knot. So now I have what's called a Swiss seat. And I'm going to take my D-ring, and the same way you put it on before, like a hook, you're going to run it straight down your chest. You're going to go over all ropes. After you get over all ropes, you're going to spin it around to where your clip is on the top. And then once that's on the top, if I want to hook onto my seat here, again in the other video, you face the rope so your brake hand's away as if you're going, if I'm going off the cliff this way, I would face it this way. If I was going off the cliff this way, I would face it this way. So my brake hand is always going to be down target. And then when you're wrapping your D-ring, a lot of people wrap the wrong end. You have to wrap the standing end not the running end, not the free flowing, not the end of the rope. The standing in on where your tie point is the rope that I'm wrapping around. So basically, if my finger was a wrap, I'm taking this rope and I'm wrapping around the D-ring. I don't want to wrap around a D-ring with this one because I end up with a reverse knot, and then I just have a nice little slide that I'm going down at 90 plus until I hit terminal velocity and hit the ground. So my braking in, if I'm going down, this is the side of the rope, I'm facing it, I'm ready to go down, my brake hand is downside on the heel that I'm going. I'm going to take my tied in, my standing in, and I'm going to wrap. One, I'm going to come around and wrap two, and I'm going to come around and wrap three. And now that's my brake. So I'm going to try to get this pretty short, reversing it, so when I sit down and the rope stretches. Most rope will stretch. They say good rope, and I don't know if they're still stretching, you want some flexibility in stretching this rope. So most rope will stretch 1/3 its length at full length. So if I'm at the bottom of a hill and I'm at the breaking this line, my rope is going to be 1/3 longer. I used to have my guys rappel off like the air traffic control towers, and the rope would be up here on the ground, and they'd look over and go, dude, the rope's not long enough. And then when they got down, there was all kind of rope because they put stretch on the rope. You gain 1/3, depending on the rope, but a standard is your rope will stretch about 1/3 at full length. And that gives you some flexibility so when you break, you're not snapping your back. So I've got a rope on here. You can tell it's tied here, and if I lean, I'm pretty up here, but when I sit down, you're going to notice this rope stretches. I'm going to bring this around here just to give me a little bit better break. And this is a Swiss seat. And again, if I'm going down and I want to go down slowly, I just feed this out and it slowly brings me down. So, which one's better? There's favorites. I think the Ranger seat is a little bit quicker and it's just as effective. The Swiss seat gives you this double here, so when you're first starting, it's kind of like, hey, I like this extra rope here where the D-ring's at, so it don't break. People will say these little knots here that you're creating a lock gives you more security. It keeps your seat still. Half a dozen one or the other. And again, I tied this knot on the wrong side. Hopefully somebody caught that and said, hey, look, dummy, your knot's on the wrong side. When I tied this knot, I ended up with my knot on the same side as my brake. You don't want that because when I'm braking, I don't want all this rope and knot and crap right here to get me mixed up and I grab the wrong rope or I let loose or it gets tangled or wrapped. So your knot needs to be opposite of your brake. Now, can I brake with this hand if I tie my knot here? Sure. I just stand and hook up just like I did before. That's my mountain I'm going down, my building, whatever. I hook up, I run this through the D-ring, I take my standing in, I do 1, 2, or 3 loops, and now I have my brake on this side, opposite side of the knot. Can I brake on either hand? Sure. If I wanted to make this brake a little bit more, rappelling's about friction. By running this rope all the way around over here and using this as a brake hand, I put more friction because now I have this friction across here. The problem with that is I have a lot of rope dragging across my butt as I'm rappelling. And over time, that's going to either tear or warp. So, can you do that? Yeah, if I wanted to get more extension, I would just put a figure 8 on here. And I went over the figure 8 here real quickly. I just clip a figure 8 in here and then hook my rope up through the figure 8. So now, with a figure 8 knot, it gives me a little bit more security, and it's a little bit easier to come down, and I'm not wrapping as much, and I'm just going down the rope. So, that's pretty basic on your 2 seats. Your Swiss seat and your Ranger seat. You just saw me do the Swiss seat. You can replay it or do it again. I can do a quick Ranger seat for you real quick. This one takes a little bit longer to untie because it's got these little loops and run-throughs in the back here. So your seat doesn't come off as quick, which is why I kind of like the Ranger seat a little bit. Some people say the Swiss seat is more comfortable. The tighter your seat is before you rappel, the more comfortable your rappel is going to be. So if you don't want it uncomfortable before you rappel, you're going to be uncomfortable in your rappel. So the tighter and the more uncomfortable I can make it before I rappel, it's going to be a lot better on the seat. Trust me on that. It's hard to believe, but the tighter your seat is, the less it's going to move and loosen up when you put your weight on it, start braking, bouncing, pushing off backwards and doing all the rappelling. The less movement this seat does, the better. So the tighter you get it, the better it is. Quick Ranger seat. Run it through there, have my loop. Come around and under. Squat down, cross around. Do my quick square knot. A lot of people will put little safety hitches in here so the square knot don't slip. You can do that if you want. And now I'm ready to go on my Ranger seat. So the Ranger seat to me is just a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to get on, just as effective. Again, personal choice. Having the knowledge to do both is okay. I would learn one real proficient first before I started trying to learn the other one. I guess my next video, let me see what my time is here. Looks like 11 minutes. So the next video is what we'll do is I'll go over some knots to tie to a rappel point. And probably what I will do is I will get over here on this pole and it act as if that's the rappel point, because sometimes they'll put those on the top of a mountain or something so it's easy to tie off on. So I'll show you a few knots to where you can actually rappel off of that, and we'll go over that. So the next video will be different rappelling tie-off techniques. Alright, hope that helped, guys. There's one of my horses. Where'd the other one go? He's out there getting into trouble. Alright, we'll end it there.